Lewis, a difficult couple of weeks for the football club recently. How have you and the boys been dealing with it?
Yeah, look, I think the first message I've got to put out there is that how much of a good person and a good bloke Ben was. I think we're all sad for him in that regard. But I think in the last couple of weeks, in terms of who we are as a club and what we want to be defined as and the ethos that runs through the club, I think it's become really testing waters. You saw it in terms of the last two games, in terms of the conflict from the players and the fans, and that's definitely not what we want to see. And I've had to stress that to the players in the first couple of chats that I've had with them, because we need the fans as much as they need to see us performing on the pitch. And like you say, the last couple of weeks have been really tested in that regard. But all we can do is, a funny saying that obviously we've spoken about a lot, is shoulders back and just keep marching on.
So, looking ahead now, we have Ebbsfleet on New Year's Day. What sort of test will that prove for us? Yeah, look, it's going to be a really tough test. Ebbsfleet are obviously fighting for their lives. The manager I coached before, as relatively young as I am, I coached him when I was a player. I had their assistant manager as my assistant manager. I worked with and I've worked for a couple of the players in and around the group. So look, they're going to be striving for everything they get to try and get those points that they need to try and get to safety. But on the flip side of it, all we can do is really hone in and zone in on who we are. I think the next couple of games, whether that's going to be myself or whoever it's going to be, I think the boys need to prove that there's a big demand to be aggressive, hard-working, just all of the cultural aspects of a Dagenham and Redbridge team. So obviously it's been an issue all throughout the season, players missing at certain moments. Do you have any updates on some of the players that are looking to return back from injury? Yeah, look, we've lost a couple others, and I think people will see that in terms of the squad that will be announced on Wednesday, in terms of the team that starts and also the bench. But the big thing that I can stress is that, and I've stressed it with the players and also with the staff around me, if you're here, you've got to be 100% all in. So one thing I hope that I can ask for and demand out of the group and also the fans is that we all stick together now going forward, whatever that is. Whatever the future looks like for the club, we've got to make sure that we leave it in a better place. We've got a carrot of, in 2 games, or just 3 games time, we've got a fantastic game to look forward to on TV against Millwall. And I think that the club are really excited and anticipating that to go back to being a Dagenham of old, of those big scalps. And we've got to make every game feel like that in the next couple of weeks. Wednesday starts with that. It's a massive game for us as a club, but we've got to zone in and just control our own performance and make sure that we put out a performance that the fans can be proud of, and then we can all start to come together and start to rebuild those bridges.